Today on American Outlaw, the Mark 1 drone powered by EchoMav Technologies. Guys, I'm excited to bring you the Mark 1. The Mark 1 is a Group 2 aircraft. If you don't know much about the UAV space, they have Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4 UAVs, and it goes by weight. So Group 2 means it's under 50 pounds, over 25 pounds. It's man-portable, it's easy to use. So let's go over some of the features of the Mark 1. ISR means intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance on it, which means it has 40 power optical with 80 power zoom, along with 640 by 720 thermal. The thermal capabilities are really good day and night. You can switch back and forth. The drone records to itself, the front module. It records to the controller. It live streams, as well as you can run it through cloud relay with persistent systems. Let's go over the drone right now and see some things that it offers, which makes it so unique. All right, guys, I got my helpers with me, and Nate and Lexo are pretty good pilots at this, and so let's go over it. It bolts down into the box, and you'll see that it has this custom cut foam, and the reason why is you have to expect that whenever you're on a flight somewhere, and this is your check-on luggage, that it will constantly be rattling around. As a matter of fact, when we flew it here, Nate told me earlier today that it came out upside down and sideways through the belt. So you can really beat on this thing whenever it's put in the package. It's not super fragile. Also, another thing that's pretty awesome about this aircraft is how fast it goes together. This thing, with everything, all the components can be in the air in under 11 minutes. That's pretty amazing compared to most other Group 2 drones take about an hour to get in the air. That's what makes this so amazing, is how compact it is, how quick it goes together. The engineering is incredible. A couple of other things that are pretty awesome about the Mark 1 UAV is it's ran by the Persistent Systems MPU-5. I know a lot of you guys are seeing these MPU-5 radios. Now they're becoming the choice of militaries around the world. But that's what makes these so great, is they're very, very hard to jam, almost impossible to jam. It doesn't matter what the RF is in the area you're at on the FLOT. It also gives it the ability where you can fly, if you're just flying off the radio, you can fly about 10 miles. If you're flying off a sector antenna, you can fly about 20 miles. If you're flying off of a tracking antenna, you can fly 100 miles. Guys, there's not a lot of UAV aircrafts out there. I don't actually know of any that you can literally fly 100 miles away and still get perfect streaming video back to you on a RDC. So this is worn on the guy's dismount kit, and you'll be able to get perfect video. I think we have some B-roll of it right here. Perfect video of you guys being able to see what the drone is seeing, plus ATAC, so you can see where your guys are. The drone can spot for you and say, here's somebody we need to save. Here's a problem area. This is a tank, a BMP. This is a bad guy's enemy force moving on you. So being able to partner with Persistent Systems is pretty awesome for this capability. And I just don't know if there's anything out there better. All right, so though I recommend 2 guys for this job, 1 could do it. You can see the 10-foot wingspan, weighs 47 pounds. It's easy to lift up, just a little cumbersome. Here's the sensor. You'll notice the Next Vision sensor. It runs off regular gas. If you can find a gas station, you can fill this thing up with gas and use it. The Mark 1 is a VTOL drone, which means vertical takeoff and landing. So what happens, what you'll see is that these 4 quad motors lift the aircraft to whatever you want to put it at, 100, 200, 400 feet. It doesn't matter, so your elevation and terrain changes. You set that inside of the computer, and then the main engine kicks on, and it'll fly for, depending on the weather, call it 5 to 8 hours. And so to be safe, let's call it 6 hours of time in the air, station time, before you have to bring it back. If it runs out of gas or loses comms, it's like any other drone that you fly. It'll come back to you until it gathers comms. So right now, we have to do a run up on the drone. So what has to happen is you've got to test all the props. So you have to turn the drone on by pulling the nose cone out, and then that gets everything running. We're setting up the controller to make sure that the bird is talking with the MPU-5 and the embedded module. There's a full checklist just like any other aircraft. We're gonna run up all of the quads. After we run up all the quads, we'll do a main engine test. After the main engine test is done and the aircraft is warm, then we can put it up in the air.
Quad run up.
Quad run up.
Clear the prop.
Props clear.
Clear the prop.
Clear prop. Clear prop. All right, so we did the prop run-ups, and the reason we do that is to make sure everything is still working. Full checklist on this, just like an aircraft. You have to follow all of the FAA rules. You got to have your 107 license, and we can only fly 400 foot here because we don't have a TFR. So we're going to put it up in the air 400 foot for you. But now everything is working, so we know it is safe to fly. All right, this is the first time that Damien has been underneath the drone, and he was like, I enjoy the drone on the takeoff and the landing, and then after that, you don't get to see very much anymore. So it's kind of, you can fly the drone with one person. I would say you probably really need 2 people, but it just depends on what you're trying to do. I would say 2 people is a minimum. It depends on, are you a military unit? Then you need to set up cover, and you probably need 4 people to get it up and moving. So you probably got an 8-man team, but that's up to you and your TTPs on your recce team. A 4-man team will for sure do it. If you're a search and rescue team, 2 guys, 2 guys that are pretty close. One thing that is pretty awesome about this, you can be right there with the GCS and sitting where you know that you assume that somebody is, or somebody you're trying to rescue, and talking to the commander. The commander can, talking back and forth here is a lot easier than talking on a radio. So that's one of the awesome things about it. So that's one thing that's amazing, is the pilot is portable along with the drone. Is that how you'd say that? A portable pilot and a portable drone. It's a portable system. All right, guys, the noise level. You can hear it really loud right now. We're at 400 feet. It's all we're allowed to fly right here. We have to get into a TFR, which is a temporary flight restriction, in order to have it. So it's just like any other aircraft. If we want to put it higher or we want to go further, we got to have permission from the FAA. We don't have that right now. We're just getting it ready to take it on a little journey. As you start getting higher and further and downwind from your target, and because of the color gray that it is, it's a special color, it makes it just almost impossible. Like, you have no idea that it's up there. So up close, it's loud, but you're gonna stand 10, 15 miles off of your target anyway. Or maybe, dude, if you're just a mile off your target when you're setting it up, they have no idea. Is it even a mile? What would you think? If you just stand like a half a mile off, nobody's gonna have a clue. It's just not that loud. This is how well the camera can see right now at the elevation that it's currently at. And so the camera's pretty awesome, whether it's the thermal or the actual daytime camera. You can actually bring this thing in and zoom it down to 80 power. So you probably see me really well. Lexo, are you on me? Yeah, there we go. The great thing is, when you're doing a loitering pattern around, or you're doing a figure 8, however you want to fly it, it's really, really hard to get away from, especially the higher you are. It's a pretty incredible system. It's jumpable. What does that mean for you guys? Probably nothing, but for the military folks out there, you can put this thing inside of a big barrel, jump it in, stick it on your back, hump it in. 2 dudes can get it in there. You can hand it off. Say I'm flying and I want to hand it off to another pilot. I can hand it off to the other pilot. He can land it, fill it up with gas for me, put it back in the air, and then I could take over control, or he could keep control. I'm trying to think about what else this thing does. It's pretty amazing. If you don't have a national asset or you're waiting on a national asset, this is the way to go. If you're a search and rescue guy, if you're FEMA, this is the way to go. All right, Lexo, let's land the bitch. The Mark 1 is a pretty incredible drone. EchoMav Technologies is on the cutting edge of the future. It's pretty amazing. Yes, I'm shilling my own company. I'm shilling EchoMav. I love my company. We do cool things all over the world. So do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. We'll see you next time.
You like flying drones?
I love flying drones.